Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time I'm going to be going over the top 8 maps from YCS Raleigh. And we have me, this very handsome guy playing Cashtira Snake Eye, versus Eric playing Despia Branded. Also a little bit of background, I already knew what they were playing. Of course, if you're going top 8 of the YCS, you know what everyone's playing at that point. But okay, start off with Pressured playing in the Unicorn. I mean, this hand was just, pretty sure it was 3 non-engine. Yeah, it looks like a Valor, Imperm, Moonlit. Then I had Planet plus Black Witch. So this is just like Planet plus Black Witch combo. I didn't play Draco Sack, so like I wasn't like doing anything like that. Also, I'm pretty sure my opponent's deck just isn't gonna be playing hand traps. So I went like Unicorn, Search Birth, okay, and now here. I went Special Summon Black Witch by sending the Pressured Planet, and then Effect to go Set. Now, I could have actually done this differently. I could have, if I wanted to, I could have given myself one extra body throughout this combo. But maybe I probably should have. I probably should have given myself the extra body just because of what deck I was playing against, like 60 card Branded. Because I could have went Activate Birth, Normal Summon Black Witch, keep the Pressured Planet on field as the send for the original, and then I would end with a bigger Appaloosa. So that was a misplay. I should have, recognized that. Usually you want to keep the normal summon. But here go, Snake Eye Ash, Poplar, Divine Temple, Spell Trap Zone, Oak. Alright. And then now I can go Ash, send itself plus Oak, bring out Flameburge. And then also this mat was horrible that we were playing on. It wasn't even like an actual mat. I mean, you could even see it's like even stretched out and the zones aren't even like proper on it. They're like a little bit weird. But yeah, I brought out Flameburge from deck. And then, of course, just like make IP, Poplar, Spell Trap Zone, Flameburge, summon back out. I was just making sure I was not messing up here. I mean, we got plenty of time to. You get an extra 10 minutes if you're on stream. But then Flameburge, Poplar, Spell Trap Zone, Special Summon back out from the graveyard. And then I get the Oak effect of Special Summon back out from the graveyard. So here I could have also had the Black Witch on field. Because the original could have set the Pressured Planet for free. So, that's where, like, little mistakes can end up becoming, like, a big difference, potentially. But now link off, make Princess, and then Princess effect, a Special Summon back out from the graveyard, the Snake Eye Ash, that's fine. And then this is just, make Hida, and then, right here, you'll see the play that I go for. I decide to make the Hida there. Of course, you have to make Hida. Now here, you could just go, like, up into a Appaloosa with Hida, Poplar, Snake Eye Ash. And then Oak send itself plus Flameburge, bring out Flameburge, Spell Trap Zone, Flameburge, Birth, bring out Unicorn. But instead, I decided to go for Celine. So that way I get to keep the Flameburge in the Spell Trap Zone because I knew I was playing against Branded. And Branded, I feel like when they break your board, as long as you don't get like Gimmick Puppeted, which I didn't think was going to happen, especially with all the non-engine that I had, I wanted to be able to keep Flameburge in the Spell and Trap Zone so that way if they started playing on my turn, then I would get Temple to summon Flameburge on my turn. Maybe that was just like an incorrect way of thinking there. So like, this definitely could have been done differently. And like, like the original mistake like stems up until this point. Just because I could have had like a way bigger Appaloosa if I wanted to, which would give me like, at least one more interruption. I could have even gone for a 32 Appo. But now I'm going to go ahead, Birth, Special Summon back out from the graveyard. And I'm also thinking on like what position to summon it in, because if you play against like Snake Eye, you want to summon the Unicorn in defense, so that way they can't try to Hida crash into it. Same with like the Flameburge, but in the Branded matchup, they don't have like Hida to crash and go search Poplar after getting stopped by everything. So I just go ahead and summon my stuff in attack position there. Then I get the Flameburge, Spell Trap Zone IP. And like that's just like full combo plus set Imperm with Moonlit, Valor in hand. That's like 3 effect negates plus Appaloosa, Flameburge in the IP, Unicorn Rip, Princess in Graveyard, Birth Banish is also really big against this deck. So in my mind I'm thinking like I don't want to play into Talons. Like if my opponent goes like Normal summon out Alubur effect. I'm not going to Appaloosa it. I'm just going to go ahead and imperm it. And if they say battle phase to beat over Appo, I'll say sure. I live now. Try to play around Talons, Thrust for as long as I can. But they go Desires, Banish. And right there, when they went Desires, Banish, I went, let's see, 60 cards. This is probably branded. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. You know, which maybe because I said it like that, maybe my opponent thought that I could have had like a Ash Blossom in hand. Maybe they could have interpreted what I said as that, just because I was wording it that way. So maybe they would have, you know, scooped even if they had a more playable hand, which I couldn't actually see their hand there. I saw them draw Desires off Desires and have like 5 monsters. And like all monsters is gonna have such a hard time against Appaloosa, you know, Unicorn, Flamberge, Bird. Even like a good hand isn't gonna have the easiest time with it. But a bad hand like that definitely is not going to work. But okay, going on to the next game now, we can just skip ahead. And then, yeah, just power shuffling, which also just takes like longer because the mat was horrible. And we have to use like the boof sleeves. Like, those sleeves are so bad. And this mat, it's not even a mat. It's literally just, like, cloth. It's, like, worse than playing on, like, a regular, like, tablecloth. But okay, now, branded Despia gets to go first. And they start off with a Pot of Desires, once again. Which is just, you know, Pot of Greed. Very good card. And then there, you know, thinking. But that is fine. Because once again, like, they're unbranded. I didn't even have Ash in my hand. I saw that they drew Patchwork there. And I couldn't see what else they drew. But also, have they checked their banished yet? Okay, I was about to say, yeah, you definitely have to check your banished just in case. But yeah, they go ahead and check that over. Okay. So now, they're thinking about which play they want to do next. Which I'm pretty sure they go Foolish. And then dump. Also, I'm going to turn the speed up just a tiny bit. Yeah, we'll just do 1.25. So they go activate Foolish Burial to go dump the Albion, the Shrouded Dragon from the deck to the graveyard. Which this puts a Fallen of Albaz into the grave. Because it's treated as Albaz while it's there. So now they go Cartesia effect. Special summon itself out. And then sure, that's fine. Now they go activate Branded Fusion, which that's a very strong way to like start the turn. Being able to like special Cartesia, then activate Branded Fusion while having like Shrouded Dragon in graveyard. So they're gonna go ahead and dump the Fallen of Albaz, and then dump the Bestial Lubellion, which is like fairly standard there. You know, the Lubellion didn't get banished off of the Desires, so they summon out Albion. Then they activate the Albion effect, and then I asked to look at their graveyard, just to double check. And then here is where misplay number 1 of this game comes into play, because I was like, okay, I can Bestial, because I had Bestial, Ogre. So I was like, okay, I can just Bestial both the Fallen of Albaz's, and then they end up chaining Cartesia. I chain Ghost Ogre, which forces them to resolve the fusion. But then Albion will also resolve its fusion in the Grangoyle. So I just thought about this incorrectly. I should have said Albion is okay. They would have summoned out Lubellion. And then, well, most likely I felt like they would have gone for Lubellion. Lubellion effect, discard, summon Mirror Jade. Then on that, I can go activate my Bestial. Go ahead, banish their Bestial Lubellion from the graveyard. Then they have a Cartesia they can activate. I can Ghost Ogre that. And then that'll force them to fuse awkwardly. But it'll end up being like Albion plus a Dark from hand to make Dragos to Paleo. But at this point now, a Magmama effect would have resolved. But also, I'm pretty sure I drew every target for Magmama, because I'm pretty sure I had Flameburge and Jerusalem in hand, and I side out the other Flameburge. So this is like an awkward spot, I think, like no matter what, but I would have at least had another Bestial for the Albion in the graveyard, and then they would have been forced to use Mirror Jade. So it definitely would have been a much worse spot for them. So this is like a huge misplay here that made it not very great for me. So you know, even if you do draw like triple hand trap, if you don't use it correctly, like obviously you can still end up losing. I used them very, very poorly there. Okay, yeah, and they were just telling me like Druid Worm was first, and I was like, well, Druid Worm is second, but it summons first. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then okay, and then they go ahead, uh, banish, bring out Dragos to Paleo, so that way Dragos to Paleo can shut down Bestial Magma effect, and then they get Grangoyle effect to go dump. Yup, and they get the Tragedy effect to go search since it was fused off. So they go Grangoyle 1, Tragedy 2, then Magma 3, Dragos to Paleo 4. Yup. And then, yeah, I was asking if I could put a dice on it as a counter, since like it actually gains counters. But they said nope. They were like, you can write it down if you want. I'm like, nah, that's fine. I don't really care about the level of Bestial Magma. But now, yeah, they're just going to go ahead and dump. And from here on out, you can kind of just tell the game's over. Like, I'm pretty far behind because of that. So, yeah, they're just thinking about how they want to play this exactly. And right here, yeah, they're just thinking about their Tragedy search, which ends up grabbing them Aliber. And I said, sure. And then they tried normal summoning Aliber, and I was like, you still need to dump off Grangoyle. So it seems like they, forgot about that a little bit. Yeah, that's actually funny. Yeah, you can see they definitely forgot about it. But yeah, now they gotta think about what they want to dump off that, which is just going to probably end up being the Titanic Clad. I mean, they did search. I actually don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be Titanic Clad though, right? Since they have Aliber in hand, that gets them to Quem during the end phase. Unless if they banished all of them. Okay. But they do just dump Titanic Clad there. Yep, which is as expected. And then now from here, go normal Aliber effect. Also, you may ask why I have Ghost Ogre in my deck against Branded. That's because we decided to not respect the deck that much for this weekend. Like, these are actually the only two Bestials in my side deck. We chose to not respect the Branded deck that much. So, you gotta put in some other cards, like Ghost Ogre, some cards that are just not the greatest against the deck. You want to be able to try to stop Cartesia so that way they can't get the Grangoyle, so that way it's much harder for them to actually, like, puppet lock you, or, maybe dump Titanic Clad, get the Quem, and then Quem can summon back out. That just ends up being a lot of cards that you have to end up having to deal with. It can be very hard. But now they're going to go end phase, Titanic Clad, summon out Fallen of Albaz, and then Fallen of Albaz effect discards the Patchwork, so that way they can go ahead and make Lubellion, and then they go Lubellion effect to bring out Mirror Jade. Yep, discard the Poly, so now all their cards are known. We know it's Branded in red set. They go ahead, put back Lubellion, Fallen of Albaz, and then bring out the Mirror Jade. And then now they can activate the Albion in the Graveyard effect to go set. And then this is going to set Branded Retribution, which this is just like another interruption. So they have like Mirror Jade, Dragos to Paleo, Branded in Red, Retribution. And then I asked to, recheck over Branded Retribution. So that way I just like remember exactly what it does. Like obviously I've played Branded before. I know what the card does. But it doesn't hurt to sometimes reread over cards to make sure you don't mess up with them. So I drew Snake Eye Ash for turns. Now I have Snake Eye Ash, Wanted, Flamebird. And I'm thinking, like, the odds of me winning this game are, like, extremely low. Especially with the fact that they have the Retribution set that'll end up touching the graveyard. And the Mirror Jade that'll be able to dump. So that's, like, a decent amount of follow-up just off of those two. And they had Tragedy Engrave, which Branded in Red can add back. So then they end up having like 3 pieces of follow-up. So like right here, I pretty much just have to end the game, which is not going to be easy to do. But I went Wanted, Search Black Witch, and now they go Mirror Jade to go ahead and banish Druid Worm. Otherwise I can summon Black Witch and go Black Witch 1, Druid Worm 2, target Dragos to Paleo. Even if they chain Dragos to Paleo, my Witch will still resolve since Druid Worm will get rid of it. And then that gives me access to Original, which I don't think they wanted me to have because that's also like a Wanted draw. Yeah, so they shut Black Witch down with Dragos to Paleo. Then I go normal summon Snake Eye Ash. Snake Eye Ash effect goes search. Grab out Poplar. Poplar effect to special summon. And then they chain the Retribution here. Yeah, Retribution's gonna go ahead, put back a Titanic Clad plus the Albion that were sent last turn to stop it. And then Poplar effect to spell Trap Zone the Flame Burge. And then, yeah, it's like anything here. And then they go Branded in red. Yeah, and they go ahead and just add back, banish. Because next up, I was going to be able to go like Snake Eye Ash, send to go special. I kind of knew I wasn't going to get far enough till that point. It was kind of just hoping that the opponent ended up making some like, bad plays. Yeah, and right here they were just like confirming the chain link. So yeah, it's like Guardian Chimera, Tragedy, yup. So grab out Aliber. They use 2 from field, so they end up popping both of my bodies. And then it's like, okay, now I am put on nothing, so I will admit defeat. Yep. And then, okay, now going on to the next game now. We can go on to game 3. So it's like if I use my hand traps correctly, I don't know if I end up winning that game, but I definitely get put in a much better position, especially because they may have also not even like set a Branded in red, knowing that Bestial Magma would resolve, knowing that I'd have a Bestial in hand during end phase to interrupt them on my turn. So they may have even like added Branded in red at end phase and activated it right away, and then done some like poor plays because they think I'd be able to get to another Bestial, but I actually only ran the 2. Which isn't like the most like common thing in the deck. A lot of people were playing like at least like Magma Mutt and like 2 Druis Worm or a Sornier, Baldric or something like that. So this game I drew Snake Eye Ash, Flame Burge, Bonfire, Veiler, Ash. And drawing Ash is crazy. I really wanted to draw Anti-Spell, because like if you draw Anti-Spell, you've just won the game. So here it's just the Snake Eye Ash combo, nothing crazy. But when I Poplar search, wanted to just make sure on what was in my hand exactly before I committed to it. We still had like 30 minutes when this game started, so 30 minutes for one game definitely should be enough. I know it's against Branded, and sometimes the deck can get extremely grindy. But now I go, Spell Trap Zone Oak, Snake Eye Ash, Send, bring out Flame Burge, and then I can link off, make IP, Flame Burge, Poplar, Spell Trap Zone, Special Summon back out 2, and then I get the Oak effect to Special Summon back out a body. Yeah, so Spell Trap Zone, Special, and then Oak Special, that's fine. Yeah, nothing there on summon. Nice. Not getting hit with the rock. And then it's just make Appaloosa with 24 attack. And then go Oak Scent to bring out Flame Burge. And I was just thinking here if I wanted to go for Princess. Because I could go for Princess, special summon back out. But then it's like, what do I do next, right? I make Hida. I don't have a spellcaster in graveyard nor enough spells. So like that line's not going to work. So this just Send to special summon out. Yeah, they were like, oh, I got Flame Burge in hand, and it's like, yep, just thinking on position. Which just like game 1, I decided to summon it in attack position. Now I have Flame Burge effect to spell Trap Zone, and also having like the Appaloosa set up before I Flame Burge spell Trap Zone is huge. So that way I don't get hit with like a Bestial on IP, or if I do, I just chain Appaloosa to stop it. Because having the IP with the Flame Burge is very big for your follow-up. Otherwise, your follow-up's a lot weaker. I did have Bonfire, though, as follow-up. But here, I go ahead and I set the Bonfire, and then I pass turn. So, just setting the Bonfire as a bluff. I already have follow-up off the Flame Burst that'll end up leaving the field. And having that set could just, like, make my opponent think that I have like a imperm or something. So now, yeah, Eric is going to start the turn off with a, pretty sure it's normal summon Fallen of Albaz. No, it's Fusion Deployment. Okay. So activate Fusion Deployment, and like, yeah, I say that's fine. I'm thinking they're gonna bring out Cartesia here, and then they reveal Mirror Jade, which I'm like, okay, if they're revealing Mirror Jade, and they're summoning out Fallen of Albaz. Does this mean they have Cartesia in hand? Then they activate the effect, and I'm like, okay, so if they're activating the effect, that means they probably have like a Talents or something. Then they activate Droplet, and then Droplet goes ahead and sends to try to shut down Appaloosa. If they try to send 2, then, like, you know, shutting down Flamebridge doesn't really do anything, because Divine Temple will end up summoning out IP anyway, so they just try to discard 1. They discard a spell, so then I'm able to chain Valor onto the Fallen of Albaz, which is huge there, and then they Droplet the Appaloosa, which is fine. So now, yeah, it's like, now they're down so many cards, right? Because they had to go, like, Fusion Deployment to bring out the Albaz, discard 1 for Fallen of Albaz, Droplet, discard 1 for Droplet. So now they have 2 cards in hand plus the Fallen of Albaz, and I still have my Flamebirch plus my Ash Blossom, which are both very good cards. So they go activate Talents to draw, and I have to think here for a second, because if they go Talents to draw, I know for a fact, like, I think if they had Desires, they would just start the turn with it. But at this point, I'm like, okay, even if they have Branded Fusion, which is, like, one of their best cards as last cards, then, like, I still just win. Like, Branded Fusion's not enough here, because they don't even have anything in Graveyard to, like, facilitate, like, a very good play off of it. Now, it is Branded Fusion, which I was like, yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. Definitely could have been worse. It could have been, like, a Pot of Desires. And there I go, Temple try to summon IP, and I'm like, wait, my bad. I was just trying to summon IP, but yeah, Flamebirch summon out the IP. I was just like pointing out the wrong thing. I was thinking about it a little bit wrong there. But yeah, either way, like, IP's coming out. You would want to use Flamebirch over Temple there, even if you could use Temple, because Poplar will end up spell trap zoning something this turn, and then, like, you know, you still have Divine Temple summon, so you'd want to activate Flamebirch anyways. But they go ahead, dump Cartesia plus Fallen of Albaz, bring out Albion. And I chained the summon IP, so that way here I can go ahead chain IP to summon SP, because otherwise my IP is going to get stopped, or my Flamebirch. One of the two are going to get hit with Mirror Jade, and I don't want either of those to get hit with Mirror Jade. So I just go ahead and make SP, and now they banish, bring out Mirror Jade. So yeah, they're going to banish from their graveyard. Okay, no, they're thinking about what they want to bring out. Yeah, it's like there's not a lot of, like, good choices there on what to go for. I think Mirror Jade's probably just the best. So yeah, it's like, what else would you banish? You could banish Cartesia, Fallen of Albaz, bring out Sanctifier. It can't be targeted, but then you still lose your Albion, and summoning back from my graveyard on my turn doesn't really do anything. So they just go ahead, banish Fallen of Albaz plus Albion. Yeah, that seems fine there. To bring out Mirror Jade. And then on that summon, I'm going to go activate Flamebirch Chainlink 1, and then SP Chainlink 2. And then my SP will go ahead and target the Mirror Jade there. I didn't think anything in their graveyard really mattered that much. Like, you could argue that I should have activated SP effect to go ahead and try to banish Cartesia from their graveyard, because then Mirror Jade dump really has no effect on the game at all. But I go ahead, just force out the Mirror Jade here, because I know even after the end phase Cartesia add back, like, my follow-up will beat what they have on my turn. So they go Mirror Jade dump. Then I'm able to go ahead and chain my SP there. And I can go SP to banish itself plus Fallen of Albaz, which is really dumb looking back on it, because, like, I should have just SP banished itself plus Appaloosa. So, like, that was just really dumb, right? Because, like, they didn't have anything, and Fallen of Albaz was coming back anyways. So that was just kind of like a brain fart. Yeah, so I just, like, get my Appaloosa back for free. And then, like, sure, they have a Fallen of Albaz, but, like, who cares? The card doesn't do anything by itself. It comes back anyways. So, yeah, that was just, like, a really dumb misplay there. Now, yeah, I get Oak Ash, and then Ash searches out Ash, And then Oak will go ahead, and I think on what I want to do with this Poplar. So I ended up summoning it, right? I was gonna say I summoned Poplar effect to go search out the original Sinful Spoils. End phase, Mirror Jade's gonna wipe my field, which will allow Poplar to spell Trap Zone. So then if my opponent wants to play at any point, then my Divine Temple will get to summon out. Yeah, they asked what was in my hand, I just slapped it down, sure. It's like, there you go. Feeling very confident at this point. It's like, there's just nothing that beats me. They add back Cartesia. They get Albion effect to go for the branded opening. Branded in red has no effect here. So then they have opening that can go ahead, discard, special summon out. Yeah, just spreading out their graveyard. You know, triple checking everything there. Yeah, they're gonna go ahead. Yeah, they're just thinking about what they want to do here. It really is just opening. I am happy that they were able to find that. Otherwise, like, if they just, like, set a branded in red, like, you know what I mean? I would have just, like, cooked in, like, 4 seconds. So, activate opening now. Discard Cartesia. And then special summon out the Quem. And then they can activate Quem effect to go dump. Bring that out. And then effect to go send. And then here it's like, I thought they dumped the wrong thing in the moment. I forget what they dumped. I think they dumped a Shrouded Dragon. But, like, what else would they have dumped? I guess they could have dumped a Retribution is what I was thinking at that time. But they ended up dumping Shrouded Dragon. Yeah, and then here they go Mirror Jade, which is also just a misplay. They should have waited. They should have said pass priority. See if I brought back SP Fallen of Albaz. They should have been like, you know, resolve SP, and I'd have been like, nope. And then they'd been like, okay, resolve Mirror Jade. They didn't give me the opportunity to make like the mistake there, which they should have. So yeah, go ahead, bring back SP Fallen of Albaz. And then I was just thinking during the end phase there, I was just like double checking over the game state. I drew Moonlit Chill for turn, which is like cool, that's fine. So they end up having like the Quem effect that'll be able to summon back out, the Cartesia from the graveyard. I do have both of my Fallen of Albaz's, I mean not Fallen of Albaz's, Flame Burges in rotation already. So it's not like I can just go like Snake Eye Ash, Poplar, bring out Flameburge from deck, and then Flameburge effect to spell Trap Zone Quem, and just like, haha, you have nothing. And also, I could have said Battle Phase, but I know, like, whatever they fuse into, like, I should be able to beat it anyways. So now they go, yeah, Snake Eye Ash into Poplar, summon out Poplar, and then after that, I go Link into a Anima. Yep, turn it should be Poplar into Anima. Yeah, turn Poplar into Anima. Huh, it's like, do I Snake Eye Ash send first? Could Snake Eye Ash send itself plus Flame Burst to go ahead bring out? But I just go make Anima off Poplar, and then I can activate my Poplar effect to spell Trap Zone. And then that's going to try to spell Trap Zone Flameburge. That's fine. And if they want to special summon back out from the graveyard off Quem, which they do there, to go ahead bring out the Cartesia, then I get Divine Temple effect to special summon out Flameburge. So yeah, here I'm like Chain Link 1, Trigger effect, Divine Temple, try to special Flameburge. Yeah, they were like Flameburge? And I was like, yeah. obviously. So go ahead, summon out the Flameburge now. And then I can link off. Like here I was thinking maybe I should have gone like Flameburge effect first to go ahead and target and force them to fuse. Because I could have gone like Flameburge effect, target Cartesia, and now they're absolutely forced to activate Cartesia. They have no choice. But also if I go Flameburge, target Fallen of Albaz or Quem. To be honest, they're forced to do it. Otherwise, SP can always just tag out. And then they only have one body left, so then they can't fuse. So I go Dark Charmer effect. go take the Shrouded Dragon out of their graveyard. And then they're like, yup, that's fine. Oh yeah, I guess I did that I wanted to see if I could bait them into making a bad play, so that way my Flamebirds can actually end up pushing back. And then I had Moonlit Chill, which I can activate, which I know it's a trigger effect, so it'll activate Chain Link 1, and whatever they summon could be used as Chain Link 2. But the Moonlit Chill will still let me get the burn damage in. So I go Flamebirds effect, target Fallen of Albaz. They go Chain Blazing Cartesia. And then in response, I go Chain SP effect. And then I target, it should just be itself plus the Cartesia there. Yep. So then they get to go ahead and resolve. And then they use those bodies. And then bring out the Sanctifier, which is fine. That is good there. And then they don't use any effects. So now, at this point, I can link off my Flamebird and get Flamebird effect to special summon back out. I'm just looking through, making sure like what they summon doesn't even matter. I also have Original, that can just send Flamebird and then bring out like 5 bodies. So that, I'm pretty sure I just go Original, send Flamebird, bring out infinite bodies. If I don't, then that's a misplay. Yeah, I was looking at Celine there, but it definitely should just have been Original. Yup, that's a misplay. Because if I go Original, send Flamebird, special summon out from the deck. Wait. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I should just Original, send Flamebird, special summon Snake Eye Ash. Flamebird's effect, special summon back out 2 bodies from the graveyard. Then I think my opponent just lets that go through. They could have went like Sanctifier to go take and make it so that way I get 1 less body. But they probably let that go. And then I just go like Sky Crisis. And then detach, bounce, game. So I could have also just went for that. So I could have just made this like a lot easier on myself instead of having to think about like, man, like, you know, maybe Sanctifier might be able to take something weird at some point, you know, just making sure I'm like not messing up over and over again. And then here, yeah, I get counters on Celine. I'm looking at my extra deck. I know the next play is just going to be access code. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to make that, but I need to Celine special summon back out from the graveyard the Veiler real quick. My opponent had infinite spells in grave, so I had like 9 counters or something. And then go ahead, Celine plus effect Veiler, make access code effect to gain attack. They do have branded opening in their graveyard, so like they could let me go ahead pop it once and then opening. But on that summon, they're gonna go ahead and activate the Sanctifier effect to be able to special summon out. So they end up summoning, right? That's what they do, right? Yeah, it's like gain 3,000 attack. Okay, was I the one thinking here, or were they the one thinking here? There's no shot, it was me. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, yeah, there's no shot at this point. It was me thinking here. Because I'm pretty sure at this point, I realized like I could have just Sky Crisis and won the game. Yep, I literally showed it to the camera. I showed it to the camera because like I realized I could have just done that and won the game a lot easier. So it's like, yeah, no, if they said like okay on summon, then I wasn't even gonna like access code pop. I was just gonna go Sky Crisis and then just win the game right there because I had enough attack points on board. But they summon out Flamebirds and Celine to my field, Flamebirds to their field, and then they're gonna go activate Flamebirds effect. Well, they thought about using Flamebirds effect, but on summon I was thinking, because I was like, I should just Moonlit Chill this, just in case like, I don't know, things somehow start to go wrong, even though they have no interruptions left. I still get the 3,000 extra burn damage in, and the burn damage should just be enough. Because I still have access code with all of its pops, and I have 2 pops. So now I go link off Celine, Snake Eye Ash, make Nightmare Cerberus, discard, pop Flamebird, and then they get burned for 3,000. I get to draw a card, and then now I have 2 attributes in graveyard, which we know it's going to take 2 pops to out the Sanctifier. And then I can just link off Nightmare Cerberus, and then that puts the Earth into the grave, because right now all I have is Darks. So then I can have Dark, Light, and Earth. So I'm just like, okay, cool. It's just make Princess. Then I can go Princess Effect to summon back out Flameburge. And then I can just go pop, 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 pop game. So banish, try to pop. They go opening protect, banish, try to pop. It goes. Then I go banish, try to pop. They just double check the attributes there. Yep, they realize that is fine. And then here I just double check their great because they didn't admit defeat. And you'd think there they would admit defeat, seeing that like all I have to do is say battle phase. So I was like double checking and then just like, okay, cool game. So yeah, that was it for that match there. Wasn't like that much crazy stuff in it. But yeah, I definitely did misplay. Like game 1, I should have just went normal summon Black Witch, and then I would have had an extra counter on Appa while still keeping my Flameburge in the spell trap zone. Game 2, I misplayed by using my Bystials in the wrong position. And then game 3, I should have just saw the Sky Crisis line earlier. So that could have that could have just like ended the game much sooner without making it like harder on myself, I guess. But either way, I knew that match was over. Especially once I realized like, oh yeah, I can just Sky Crisis my opponent because they summoned twice last turn, like the Albion and the Mirror Jade. And it's like, oh yeah, I definitely just win. I mean, you could also say like, oh, I should have went Zealantis, and then Zealantis bring back the Flameburges to my field, and then you win. But like right there, there's just like, I can't lose. It's impossible. And I got like let's see how much damage that was, because that's 3,000 off Moonlit Chill. Then that's 53, 3,000, so that's 6,000, that's 11,000, and then 2,000, and then 25, and then 27. So like, come on now, like I'm gaming you like multiple times over there. There's just no shot that you end up like staying in that game, you know. But okay, yeah, that's going to be it for the match. GG's to Eric T. Had to knock out the last branded player in top 8. Had to do it. But alright, yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to be going over my top 4 match after this. So that'll be going up relatively soon today. And with all that being said, the DB Grinder signing off. Peace. Have a nice day. Stay safe.